Okay, the other thing I'm going to talk about is bug out bags. Go bags, good bags, whatever you want to call it. I prefer bug out bag because that's exactly what you're doing. This bag here rides in the back of my truck. If you guys go inside, I've got about 20 of these printed out. They're flyers of basic bug out. You can also get it off my blog, Prepping and Surviving at blogspot.com. And you can just go ahead, copy it, print it. I'm not, this is something I want everybody to have. One of the basics, this is just basics of it. I'm going to go over it, and you're going to vary it for your own use. Not everybody's going to have the same things in their bug out bag. Comfortable backpack in earth tone colors. I happened to throw an old Alice pack, but then what I did is I converted it to the Molly padded straps and backpack because it's a lot more comfortable. Sleeping bag. You want a light bag. I use a 40-degree desert bag, and then I use, instead of carrying a tent, which adds so much more weight, I carry a Gore-Tex bivy sack, and that'll keep the bag dry, both in the pack and all. This pack, just the way it sits right now, sits in the back of my truck through all weather. So, fire starting materials: matches in a waterproof carrier, containers, flint and steel, fire tinder, etc. You're going to need a first aid kit, preferably to include prescription meds if you're on any kind of prescription meds. You're going to have poncho or Gore-Tex parka or both, water filter or purification tablets, a small cook kit with silverware and a small stove, alcohol, trioxane bars, etc. You need 48 hours worth of food. MREs are good, but life expectancy is affected by the heat. So if you're using MREs, what you want to do is, if it sits out in the sun, especially in Fresno weather, 100, 110 degrees, you're going to want to change that MRE out every 6 months. That really has a big effect on the shelf life of MREs. Personal hygiene items. Toothpaste, brush, razor, soap, deodorant, feminine hygiene, etc. Several pair of good quality warm socks and underwear. Okay? I mean, the thing of insighting your underwear out, that doesn't work. You build up bacteria, everything else like this. Go ahead and put on, try and swap those out, especially socks. Because if you have no foot, you have no survival. Gloves, boots, especially if your job requires you to wear high heels, tennis shoes, something like that. You're going to need something you're going to be able to hike in. I mean, think about it. If you have a 8.7 earthquake and there's buildings down, everything, you're going to be climbing over rebar, you're going to be climbing over concrete. How long are your shoes going to last? A pair of tennis shoes, they're not going to last very long at all. So you need to have a good pair of boots. Good quality sheath knife and folder knife, a light source, compass and maps of the areas that you normally travel in. Major highways will be the last place you're going to want to be, because they're going to grid up, bridges are going to be down. Look at the San Francisco earthquake in '89. Bay Bridge came down, and was shut down. So there was just, all they had was the San Mateo Bridge basically to get back and forth across, or running down the coast and coming across. If your firearms travels with you, what you feel would be a sufficient amount of ammunition. Trash compactor bags and Ziploc bags. The reason I like trash compactor bags is if nothing pokes through them. So if you kill game, you're in a situation that you need to kill game, you can butcher it up, the bones aren't going to punch through and leak blood all over your inside of your pack. Ziploc bags, great. I mean, you can walk up to a 7-Eleven and his power's out, and you walk in and Rajneesh, you say, hey, you know what? You've got all those doggone hot dogs in that doggone cooker there. I'll give you $5 for them right now, cash, and this is where I say you always have to have a little bit of cash on you too. Don't always depend on your ATM and your EBT card, because when people can't swipe that and get their Big Mac, you're going to have the zombie apocalypse. But you can buy those hot dogs from them. I'm sure it'll take the $5 bill from you. Put them in the Ziploc bag. You've got meal and you've just extended your food another 48 hours. So we good tough pants and a shirt. BDUs are a good example. If you were normally in a city environment, you want to have solid colors. You don't want to have camouflage. Camouflage will immediately identify you as a person that's either in the military or has firearm use knowledge or may have firearms, and people will target you. You know, the people in the inner cities, this type of thing, will target you. Paracord or rope. Fishing line, hooks and sinkers if you're going to be going through an area that may have fish that you're, you know, if you're, I'm talking you're a long way away, some of this stuff you don't need. A lot of stuff I know how to do from being an instructor in wilderness survival. So a lot of the stuff that I have in my pack are not going to be, you know, is not going to be here. Some of the stuff on this list is not going to be in my pack. I don't need it. This basic bag can be, like I said, you can add or subtract from it. This list is inside. You can go ahead. I've got 20 of them printed off. So if there's 2 people together, I ask you to share. Ink's expensive. I went ahead and printed off 20. If 2 people are here together, they can go ahead and you know, take it and then maybe copy it on their computer or whatever and do that. Or feel free, like I said, pull it off my blog and just type in bug out bags in the search engine and it'll pop this up. I've reprinted this one about 2 or 3 times on my blog. But what I thought I'd do is tear into this. I throw this cover on here because you never know what kind of an environment you're going to be in. So not only does it help shed a little bit extra rain, but I use it as a, if I wind up in the desert and or down in the valley and the grass is brown, I've got something, this green's going to stick out like a sore thumb. So if I'm sitting out in the woods, I want to be, you know, as blended as I possibly can. My pack's loaded a little bit heavier than I normally would carry, but this one I do. Essentials, guys. Baby wipes. Okay? When you can't get a shower and you may be 2 or 3 days out, baby wipes. You know, between your legs, your armpits, all this, kill the bacteria. That's what's going to cause you to get sore. That's what's going to cause you to get rash, this type of thing. In a situation you don't have these and you have a campfire going, you can pull your shirt off, you can pull your clothes off, you can go hold yourself over the fire, over the smoke, let the smoke come up. The smoke will kill the bacteria and kill the body odor. So you won't smell, number one. Number two, it actually kills the bacteria that will cause rash and all the other stuff that you're going to get. Of course, these, I've got camo makeup in here, and then I've got bug repellent. Always put your stuff in plastic bags. Very simple fire starter. You can cut this little bit of this off, use it for your fire starter. Mountain money. Everybody should have that. Ladies will probably want to carry a little bit more. Now, if you start running low on toilet paper, one of the things you can do is go find a phone booth. All right? Tear the pages out of the phone book. Wrinkle them up 3 or 4 times. It's a hell of a lot better than leaves. Space blanket. Okay, that adds a little bit extra to your thing. Okay, that's that. This is a first aid kit, military first aid kit. That's why I carry it. Has everything, even a tourniquet. If you can find these, they're kind of hard to find. I highly suggest them. This is in a sealed container. There's a flint and steel. These are cotton balls that are dipped in Vaseline. You strike your flint and steel into the cotton ball, Vaseline, it starts to burn. It's petroleum jelly. It'll burn. You can start adding your tinder and the thing will go away. The other thing I do is, how many times do you get something from China that has a silica desiccant? Do not eat it. You know, that type of thing it says on there. These will absorb the moisture that gets into this thing every time you open it, and that will keep your matches dry. Of course, I have waterproof matches in here, like I said, along with the flint and steel. And redundancy, especially in fire starting, is huge. Rope. I like this piece of rope here. Sure, it's bright in color, but it's got a carabiner with it. Okay, that makes it real nice. More rope. I always have a handgun with me, ammunition and extra magazines. This here is a headlamp, just a small little single battery headlamp. Clips onto your ball cap. Real nice, easy to use. Like I said, try and keep it as light as you can. Come on, pop. A lot of the pouches where I keep my food. There's also food down on the inside. I use the dehydrated food. There's a lot of stuff too that I carry in the back of my truck. In my truck, that's my major piece of transportation. And I would have probably had my truck here today, but Friday the 13th got me and my starter smoked yesterday. Okay, in addition to my sleeping bag, which is a 40-degree bag, just in case it's cool, I have an M65 field jacket liner and M65 pants, the liner. Okay, when I get to a spot, I'm going to spend the night. I can pull these on. This will add another 40 degrees to my bag. So my 40-degree bag just became a Sub-Zero bag. And it's real light. I mean, you guys can hardly any weight at all. Like I said, plastic bag it. You put it in the Ziploc bags. They're, as you can see, I won't starve. Socks, underwear, extras. There's warm socks. There's standard boot socks in here. Military issue socks. That's one of the things. One of the things you want to do too. I'm not really following what I preach on this. Go with dark colored socks. Go with dark colored underwear. Because as you're traveling, if you have to wash them because you're running out, okay, you can wash them. The darker the color, you can hang it on your pack. Number one, it's not going to give you away. Number two, it dries faster. Dark colors absorb the heat faster and from the sun and will dry faster. Like I said, we keep this stuff. This is a set of British BDUs. So I do keep pants and shirt in there. The reason I carry those are very lightweight. So this, pull it out here, is my sleeping bag. As you can tell, extremely lightweight, so I don't have a bunch of weight. In these situations here, if this is a bag to get you home, which is normally what it's going to be in an earthquake or a survival situation, you're going to want to, you're not after sleeping comfortable at night, you're after surviving and surviving the cold weather. Any type of layers like this, even a 40-degree bag, will keep you warm. You're not going to be real comfortable, but it'll keep you warm and it'll keep you from perishing due to exposure. Last but not least, I keep in this upper pouch, because it's very accessible, a poncho. And that, because if it starts raining, you can pull this out. You want a poncho or rain gear that's big enough to cover your pack, so you can throw it over you completely, and that's it. So this is my version of what I carry in my truck. Like I said, there's lots of extra stuff in my truck that I carry. Extra pair of boots, a lot of stuff like this. I may wind up abandoning it. I may trade it for food. You know, there's a lot of things I can do with that. But it's you know, it gives me a little more barter power. It gives me some selection as to what I'm going to do and everything like that. So, any questions on bug out bags?
How much does it weigh?
This one here, I carry a little more weight. So this one here is about 35 pounds. I have bug out bags that weigh very, very little. One of the things, hey Chris, would you go get my belt? One of the things I do is when I hunt, I'm kind of old school. A lot of these guys like the vests and this type of thing. I carry a basic old military pistol belt, web belt, and gear on that. And I stayed out, overnight with just what's on the belt. She's going to bring it out here in a minute. And this is probably heavier than my pack.
Yes.
And this is what I hunt with. I mean, I've got a blowout kit for medical, and that's my major thing. I've got water, I've got a cup, canteen stand, I've got fire starters in each one of the pockets, I've got matches, I've got a knife, I've got camo netting, I've got a pen and paper so I can leave a note. If I'm lost, I've never been lost, I've been fierce and confused for a day or two, but I've never been lost. I can go ahead and leave a note on a rock, heading southwest at, how many degrees or whatever I'm doing, whatever my plan is to travel. Not sure where I'm at, but this is the direction I'm traveling. Which, if they stumble across the note, they're going to know which way I went. I always have, paper, there's an extra magazine for my firearm. Those are the type of things. I'm not too concerned about food with this, because I usually have a smaller pack on my back that'll carry water and usually an MRE or something along that line. So, any other questions? That's the basics. It's kind of a basic thing. Like I said, if you want the list of the basic bug out bag, they're in here. There's also one for power outages for long periods of time, and how you can, I'm not going to go over that, but I will tell you this: the first thing you do if you get a power outage and you think it's gonna be it's been an earthquake, it's going to be down for more than 24 hours. First thing you do is load and carry your firearm, because you've prepared, you become a target. So that's one of the most important things. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
I've always wanted to look inside your bug out bag.
That's the first time I've ever had a girl tell me they want to look at my bug out bag. That's,